déménager, qu'on aimerait bien savoir un local, un atelier pour travailler, puis pour avoir une communauté. C'est juste pas possible en ce moment. Vous êtes payés pour faire votre métier, les flics sont payés pour faire leur métier, nous autres on prend congé de nos projets et de nos jobs pour déménager, puis qu'est-ce qu'on se ramasse? On se ramasse avec une belle mascarade de même, des petits jeunes qui veulent nous supporter, puis qu'ils se font tasser de là par des gros flics, c'est comme... C'est la routinière mascarade de ce système. C'est bien triste, là. Moi, je ne fais qu'espérer un crash économique durable, avec aucune reprise économique. L'insurrection du peuple totale.
C'est quoi votre nom?
Tu parles d'une question, toi? Je m'appelle Eliane Bonin, alias Lily, et puis ça fait 10 ans et 2 mois que j'habite ici. Il y a du monde qui ça fait plus longtemps qu'il habite ici. C'est pas une question de ça, là. Il y a un roulement merveilleux de monde ici. Il y en a que ça fait une couple de mois ou une couple d'années qui sont ici, mais c'est irremplaçable la vibe qu'il y a ici. Puis aller ailleurs dans un appartement qui me coûte plus cher juste pour loger, qui est 2 fois plus petit, j'aurais jamais les moyens de me payer un local, un atelier pour partager une vie créative communautaire. C'est ça, c'est la fin, c'est juste ça. La ville, elle va pas supporter un projet pareil, c'est impossible. Absolument impossible.
Est-ce que vous
Pas dans leur intérêt.
Est-ce que vous sentez la sécurité dans l'immeuble? Parce qu'il nous dit, l'intention officielle, c'est qu'il y a des problèmes, pièges à feu, etc.
Ben oui, madame, mais je veux dire, quand il y avait le verglas, il y avait le verglas, genre, on est tous en sécurité dans l'univers. Faut pas paniquer, là. Moi, je prône le droit à la prise de risque. Je m'excuse, là, si je me garoche du 2e étage dans une pile de boîtes, c'est mon problème. C'est comme, c'est la loi de la responsabilité, puis les propriétaires sont responsables. T'sais, la ville est responsable de la ville, le propriétaire est responsable du bloc. Nous autres, on le sait que c'est tout un peu délabré ici. On aimerait bien que ce soit plus clean, on aimerait bien, on le dit aussi, quand les lumières ne marchent pas, on le dit, quand le monte-charge ne marche pas, on le dit, ça bouge pas. Il faut que la ville vienne fermer le bloc pour que ça bouge, juste pour que le propriétaire puisse continuer de réclamer des loyers.
Vous allez aller où? Est-ce qu'on vous a...
Monsieur, attention, il y a une extension de dessin.
Ce sera pas long, man.
Okay, I'm going to ask in English, a couple questions in English then.
Do it quick.
I'll do it quick.
I have to move out.
I know you have to move out, and
I have an ADD problem, and instead of moving out this morning, I have too much entertainment to do my tasks.
I saw you out the window this morning a couple of times. How long have you lived here?
10 years, over 10 years.
And what's it been like in here?
Oh my God, there's so many different times with different people. But it always had like a community vibe. I was in another block of loft, that's Port Victoria, and it got evicted at some point to make like renovations and more cash, so they had to empty the block there. And so already there, that was like the center of the community. I'm really involved like in a circus underground project called Carmagnol. So that's where we could store stuff, that's where we could like rehearse stuff, you know, and gather people. Because like in a normal flat, you're not going to gather like a meeting of 100 people, you know. In a loft, you can do that.
But people
so there's a way. I always called the loft situation here because I was for 5 years before that traveling in Europe. So I was really involved in like the autogéré, communauté autogéré. So self-managed communities and squats. So here, when I moved in Montreal 14 years ago, I used to call the loft like the you have to pay your rent kind of squat, you know. So it's just like it's the only context where I could find community, art projects, creativity, and you know, live a little bit like, yeah, community in the city is pretty hard to make happen.
Let me stop you. Let me stop you because it says one of the arguments is that the building is in bad shape.
Yeah, the building is in bad shape. They've always been. Like
it's
maybe
done on
8.
purpose to get us out. The owner purposefully neglected his obligations as a landlord so that the city would kick us out. They're doing it together. This is an intentional part of the gentrification project of us.
And I'm going to ask you about that in a second, about gentrification in a second, but I want you to continue about the condition of the building. So they're saying it's not safe for you here.
Let's say that in the last year it was like a fire, a bit of the roof flying off, with bricks falling off, and a big, comment tu dis, une inondation donc?
Flood.
A big flood from like a water pipe that exploded in the roof. But you know, we survived, you know. And if there's like a major, I don't know, you know, are we safe on planet Earth anyways? For me, you know, I'd rather be here in a dodgy space, living my free life of a free artist, than being safe in an unsafe society which allows the production of like heaps of goods, you know, and products that kills us. You know, they allow people to sell poisonous products to kids, to everybody to eat crap, you know, and people to be not healthy, and producing plastic that we're gonna choke on really soon, you know. It's like, what's safe in the world? I don't give a damn being in like a dodgy loft, while in the world, no one cares about the planet that feeds us. And at some point, we're gonna all die. So, you know, I'd rather have a free life and have fun before we all die.
You were talking about gentrification. Of course, this neighborhood is going through a transition, and there seems to be like a little bit of a struggle going on right now with some old, some new. Can you tell me a little bit about that and what your feelings are about it?
Well, it doesn't feel like a little bit of a struggle to me. It feels like a citywide change that's tearing down social housing and artist space and replacing it by condo and all private property, where it's hard to come together as a community. I think that's an intentional plan to separate people, to destroy community life that we have here.
So you're holding out because you don't want this to be you. You don't want that to happen here.
We're holding out because we've invested a lot in this space, which is something the owner hasn't done. We care a lot about our community space. We've built this for decades. I've been here 3 years. I'm getting thrown out now, and I'm practically barricaded in by the police who are preventing us from leaving and moving the rest of our stuff. In fact, there's a knock at the door now.
Oh, neighbors say that it's a bit too noisy. There's too many people here. They just don't feel very comfortable or very safe. What do you say to that?
I think we need to come together as a community. I think we need to show more solidarity and support each other. I think we need to be talking more.
On a
with
besoin d'une batterie de drill.
So, last question for me is that you're moving on. Do you know where you're going yet? And what do you do from here?
We're going wherever we can. Like this is the branle-bas de combat. This is an emergency situation.
It's interesting because Madame Bonet said that in Square Victoria she was evicted, but now is that your last name? Yes, yeah. She was in Square Victoria evicted, and now here evicted. Do you?
Everywhere evicted, bit by bit. There's nowhere to go. They're closing the gap day by day.
Is that a way to live now? To be like moving, not knowing how long you're going to be there?
Do you think it's a way to live?
I'm asking you.
I know I don't want to live in a condo. I know I'm not gonna buy anything from any of the promoters that are trying to sell us their fake solutions. For me, that's just a recipe for isolation.
They're gonna be stuck with all their luxury, stupid projects at some point anyway. Like the market's totally saturated. And honestly, here, you know, it's the same owner as Groover, and he said that on TV the other day. He was saying like, yeah, we need like, you know, serious professional artists. It's like, are we not professional artists because like we live in your crappy condition, you know, and because we need a lot of space and pay cheap for a lot of space to be a lot of people to share. That's all. He just wants people who got lots of cash from grants from the government that can afford to pay spaces like that for twice and 3 times the price. In the last few years, every time a big loft would get evicted or they would leave, he would not rent it anymore and split it between 3 or 4 spaces and rent each little space the same price he used to rent the big space.
How much would this space go for, like your little space? How much
it depends, from $600 to $1.5 grand, something like that.
No, but how much would you pay for this? How much are you paying for a small space, for a space like this?
Depends which. I'm at the fourth floor at the moment.
It's $1 a foot.
$1 a foot, from 50 cents a foot to $1.50.
Yeah, were you paying monthly? Were you paying weekly? How were you paying? So how much are you paying monthly?
For this one,
All depends where and how long you've been
Okay.
here.
But it's a big.
Anyway, like
I'm just curious.
it's not about like the price we pay for the space. Like, it's not about that. It's about how we use it and how we're getting like pushed out of the space.
It's about having a place to live. It's
Exactly.
about dignity. The city offered us forms for HLM, for subsidized housing, the day after the official eviction. How insulting is that? We don't need HLM, we need self-sustained space, right? We need self-determination. That's all we want, is for Vito to leave us alone. The only thing we want is for him to sell this building so that we can make something out of it, which is something he has refused to do.
Do we have your name?
But
thank you.
if he's obliged to make all the work legally, it might be too expensive for him and he might change his mind. But you know, so far he tried to make all the work in an illegal way, and some people stopped him. CSSA came in and they find out that he never had the license from the city to make the works he was doing, and that the way the work was done was illegal as well. It was totally against CSSA.
Well, I appreciate you talking to me. Thank you very much, and I understand. Thank you very much.
But good luck in your career, huh?
Hi.
Because you're in the middle of the system too, huh? So I hope you can like make your own project for real and have a
One of these
career that
days.
satisfies your real goals in life.
But this is, maybe for some of us, this is our program.
Sure, but you're walking on the same wire that we are. I mean, there's cuts left and right with Harper, right? Do you trust him to support independent or
And the more they
state
ask
media?
us for cash, the more we're obliged to do work for other people and not make our own projects happen. It's all about freedom, really. At this point, like, we totally should break free, and that's not what's gonna happen for another couple of years until we're all obliged to do it.